everyone, welcome to another episode of Luncheonette with Laura Diaz. That's me, and we are here to update you on our recent visit to the Florida State Foster Adoptive Parent Association that we just attended in Daytona Beach. For those of you who couldn't make it, we missed you there, but we had a lot of fun, and we want to show you some of the snippets that we got while we were at the conference. So let's take a look. So Trudy, now that we finally have you, just for a minute, and I know you're very busy, so we won't take a lot of your time, can you tell the other foster parents across the state that maybe couldn't make it to the conference what they're missing and what they can expect from the association this year?
What you're missing is an excellent conference with excellent speakers, but I've got a good note for you. Next year, this same weekend, we will be at the Hilton in Orlando, so save your pennies now so that you can come and hear our speakers for next year.
Now, don't you wish you were there? That was a lot of fun. For those of you who couldn't make it, we're going to be there again next year in Orlando this time, so stay tuned. We'll keep you up to date on that information as we get it. Now is a good time for you to take out those lunch boxes. You know I brought my Lunch of Champions as usual, but today, Powerade instead of water. Needed a little more sugar. My trusty apple and the protein bar, which you all know I don't eat, but I will eat as soon as I finish talking to you because I don't want to have bad manners. My mom told me not to. So we had the opportunity to interview Secretary David Wilkins at the conference in Daytona Beach, and I think you're going to be excited about what he had to share. There was a press conference, and you can view the entire press conference on our website at www.qpiflorida.com. and click on the link to the press conference, and he actually went over the entire set of initiatives in detail for foster parents and for the child welfare system. But in my interview, we were able to kind of go into a little bit more detail on how those initiatives actually affect us as foster parents. So sit back, enjoy your lunch, and watch this interview with Secretary Wilkins. Hi, I wanted to take this moment to welcome Secretary Wilkins for joining us today.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us. And I have to say, this morning we were at the keynote speaking event at the conference, the Florida State Foster Adoptive Parent Association conference here in Daytona Beach, and also at the press conference yesterday. And I have to tell you, the one thing, and you know I'm a foster parent, the one thing that really hit me was your passion. It just came out. Where does that passion come from?
Well, you know, the passion probably comes from my faith a lot, from my beliefs of the responsibilities of parents, and you know, being a parent myself, you know, I think that's the top priority of my life is to be a good parent for my children. And you know, Tanya and I got very involved in foster care years ago, and you know, I just was very frustrated with it. Mm-hmm. And I said, this can't be this complicated. And in business, you know, I spent my life in business helping companies become more efficient, helping companies do their job better. And there's a lot of opportunities in foster care to apply some of those principles learned in my business life.
Well, I'm really excited about a few of those initiatives that you've designed for improving foster care, and there were several of them that got, I think, standing ovations in there. Yeah. Do you want to share a couple of those new initiatives that you've designed for us?
Sure. You know, at the top of the list is an awareness campaign, which is really focused on getting the word out. And you know, the foster parent program has the same problem that DCF has, in that the media and the TV world, newspaper world, they really like to highlight on all the bad things that happen. And 99.9% of what's happening are great things. And so, you know, no one's going to tell our story if we don't tell it ourselves. And so that's what the awareness campaign is all about, is really getting the message out to communities and to lots of interested people who want to help us in our mission, to help them understand where they can help and that type of thing. So that's number one.
Can I ask you one quick question on that? What are some of the ways that you are going to get that message out? Like, what are some of the things we can look forward to?
Well, definitely technology. Mm-hmm. Definitely events
like
this.
technology, don't we?
Events like this, where people on their own time can look at videos and look at different Twitter pages and blog pages about success stories, lessons learned, and activities that are happening around the state that they want to get involved with. So communication is number one. We're also going to do some programs at the state level around awareness and marketing, and the governor's office is going to help us on some of those. So I think it'll be a very exciting opportunity for all of us.
How can foster parents check that out now? Is there a website or a special place they should go to?
Well, right now, if they go to the DCF website, what we have put in place at DCF is Facebook access, a Twitter account, and blogs that you can click and sign up for. And I'd really love all foster parents to sign up for those immediately. Over time, we'll be moving those into the foster family website as well, and having more of those same distribution methods focused solely on foster care issues. But we're doing a lot of that already through the DCF website. We've been doing it for 6 months or so, and it's just a great medium to know what's going on.
Okay, great. So the other initiative that I have to say that was very, very exciting was around some of the licensing changes.
Yeah.
I had to say that as a foster parent because the minute I get my new license in the mail, they're chasing me down for papers for the next one. Right.
Well, if you think about it, the way it's been done doesn't really make sense. You could probably argue that there was some logic at the time, but that's not how you license other things that are government regulated functions. And so what we're going to do is we're going to move to sort of a 3-year licensing process, and it's really a year with 1-year renewals, and just assuming everything is standard and nothing has really changed, then it's an automatic click and you're renewed to the next year, and that will save time for the foster parent dramatically. Quite frankly, it saves time for DCF, it saves time for the community-based care organizations.
Right.
And it really, allows us to focus our precious resources and time on the problems that we really have versus the problems that we don't have. So,
fantastic. We're looking forward to those improvements in the system that you're working on. So I thank you personally for that one. Okay, how about, I know that I have been involved, and we'll probably talk more with Mrs. Wilkins about this, but this big recruiting campaign, that's exciting, and we have the website up and running now, so.
Right, and the recruiting campaign is key. I mean, for the last 3 years, we've had more foster parents leave the foster parent business than we have been able to recruit more in. So it's very logical if we keep up that trend, we'll be going out of business.
Big trouble. Where will we put these children?
Exactly. So that's unsustainable. And so number one is retention. So we want to keep the foster parents that we have, and then number two is even if we kept all the foster parents we have, we need more. And so we've raised the bar this year. We want to recruit another 20% above what we have recruited over the last 3 years. So that's going to be about 1,200 foster parents statewide. That's a big number, but I believe we can do it. And then the retention issue is also about looking at, well, why do foster parents leave? And are we pushing them out, or are they leaving for logical reasons? And sure, a lot of people, fostering is a time in your life kind of job, and so some people it may not fit based on all the other things happening in their life. But if we're pushing them out because of the bureaucracy that we put in place and those types of things, then shame on us. And the licensing point is directly trying to deal with that issue. The investigation issue, which we haven't talked about, is intentionally trying to deal with that, and training is trying to deal with that, because we want foster parents who want to invest in themselves as well as investing in the kids, and are always learning, and I believe when people really just see the success of their job and they're being valued in their job, they're more apt to want to continue to be in that job.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, I have to tell you that when you mentioned the investigations, and obviously foster parent abuse allegations is right now a big thing. We're hearing more and more about it, you know, from foster parents across the state. And so this is so exciting that you've seen this trend, and that you see it as a retention issue, and that you're addressing that. So what are some of the things that you expect, some outcomes from this this initiative that you started?
Yeah, on the allegations, it's a pretty interesting analytical exercise we went through, which we looked at 100 cases, and they were very representative, so statistically valid sampling, and only 6 founded allegations that occurred in that 100 cases. So, you know, basically 94% of the allegations we're investigating are unfounded. And so, you know, when you look at if you design any process that is focusing on 6% versus the 94%, something is wrong. And then if you look at the process that we go through, it's a very complicated process. The investigator from DCF gets involved, the community-based care organization gets involved, the courts gets involved, the third-party provider organization gets involved, and so you're getting a lot of people involved, where 94% of their time they're concluding that they didn't need to be involved.
A lot of resources there.
Right. So, you know, once again, this is not brain surgery to figure out, you know, how to streamline this process. We got statutes changed this year in our investigation process that does allow our investigators more authority in looking at cases and determining when there really isn't a case versus where they have to do a complete investigation. And we're in the middle of redesigning our investigation process right now. So we're in essence going to focus on this allegation component as part of the overall redesign of the investigation process. And so I think you'll see a more simplified reporting process on that. We're going to reduce the number of players that have to be involved in this, and I think foster parents will both appreciate it. You want to take investigation seriously, so any concern, you know, obviously needs to be taken seriously, but you also want to be able to reach a conclusion quickly and not go through a bunch of bureaucracy when you don't have to.
Well, one of the things that I really am thrilled about with this is that you have involved foster parents in the process. I am on the committee, as well as several other foster parents here, and so far the communication on this and the committee and looking at this whole thing has been amazing. So I want you to know that this is a fantastic initiative, and that we're working hard as a team, and it's that whole collaboration that I have to tell you that we're so excited about, just between your office, the CBCs, the CPIs, the Guardian Ad Litem office. It's just so exciting, I have to tell you, as a foster parent, because a lot of times we've kind of felt like we're alone out there on this little island, and to be sitting here next to you, and they get to hear from you directly, I have to tell you, it's an honor, a privilege, and it's so exciting to know that you are interested in the challenges that we go to on a day-to-day basis. So I have to say that.
Well, thanks. You know, it is kind of funny when you think about sort of how the business model works, because you've got the DCF corporate structure, and then you have CBC organizations, provider organizations, all other kind of support groups, and then at the end you see the foster parent, and so much down at the very bottom, and so many things happen at these other levels and flow down to the foster parent. Really, the model ought to be reversed, right? Because foster parents are doing all the work, and you know, I parallel that to the business world. And you know, in the business world, you know, we spend a lot of time looking at, you know, who's actually doing the work, who is on the front line, you know, making the product or inventing the product, and you know, how do you know, in business it's all about how do you empower that person to be creative, to build quality in on the front end, and all those kind of standard business techniques. And that's what business has been doing for years, is you empower the frontline person, and we have done just the opposite. So you know, I think that committee is a perfect example of all the groups working really well together. I'll throw a kudo to my wife, because I think she was a real key in sort of building that collaboration. And you know, just once again, just like in business, when all the different factions of an organization, sales and marketing and distribution, all work together, the machine works. And ours is just like that.
I couldn't agree more. That's fantastic. You know, another one of the initiatives that is near and dear to all of our hearts, us QPIers out there, our very first topic on our first Luncheonette episode was Normalcy. And I know we're trying to get rid of that word, and the motto you said was let kids be kids. Can you share with the other foster parents some of the things you're doing on the whole let kids be kids, and how important you see that initiative?
Sure. And and this message is really about empowering the kids as much as it is about eliminating some of the bureaucracy that we have put in place. Definitely DCF is part of the problem. We have rules established in our foster care guidelines that require additional reviews, require additional paperwork for certain activities that kids have to do. What we want to do is take out those kind of rules, and we've started a rule-making process, which is for the formal legal way you got to do this, to simplify those rules. This summer we'll finish that exercise, and the point is just use common sense. And kids should be able to go spend the night at a friend's. Kids should be able to drive. Kids should be able to participate in all the extracurricular activities that all other kids participate in. And when we allow them to do that, we're empowering them. And when you empower kids, they grow faster. They expand their horizons faster, and it's a win-win for everybody. So I'm really excited about what we're trying to do there. I just spent some time earlier today talking to the kids about these issues, and you can see their excitement too. They were going, "You mean we won't have to do that anymore?"
I bet they were excited, huh? It's like, yes, finally, yes, I can go on a date. I can drive a car. I can go surfing. By the way, did you see any of our kids down there surfing?
The surf is up.
The surf is up, huh? We thought it was going to rain, but it looks like it's holding out. So hopefully we'll get some good reports of some awesome wave catching out there. So I know we're running out of time, but I have one more. I know that this is an important one, and I definitely need to share this one with foster parents out there, and that is the supporting them with their education, the promising futures, because one of the things you said there I think really affects us, and that's the scorecard. And I think the reason it's important to get this one out there is we as foster parents need to make sure that we are reporting to our case managers and all the people involved in this child's life, what we're doing with them, because sometimes it's so easy to just take them to the doctor's appointment and not tell anybody you were there, or and forget to send their report cards in. So I think it's information sharing, but I love what you said earlier, so if you can just share that with them before we leave.
Sure. Right. So we're starting a new scorecarding process, for all kids every 30 days, and all the CBCs have agreed to start this here in July, coming up this month. And what we'll be doing is part of that 30-day review that occurs with all of our children in our care. We're going to go through a series of questions about their educational activities, their socialization activities, their healthcare types of issues, and their extracurricular types of activities, to know, are they engaged in all those kind of things, and are all the right activities happening. And the goal of this is to find out where the gaps are. And by finding the gaps, this is where, in essence, we create opportunities for others to help us in our job of taking care of these kids. And one of the comments I made at the big session is we all need help. And great leaders and great operators ask for help. And there's no way that every parent is going to get 10s on every one of these issues, because you always need help in different areas. So hopefully this scorecard will identify where we need help. This is where we pull in Partners for Promise and other organizations who want to donate resources, donate their personal time to help in certain activities. And the win on this will be to the kids, because it's just literally going to expand their horizons and their capabilities.
Well, and ultimately that's why we're here, isn't it?
Absolutely.
We're here to help those kids. And I just want to thank you for coming out today and sharing your passion and sharing these initiatives with our viewers. And I have a present for you, just for being on my talk show today.
Oh,
and
wow.
and also elevating my talk show host, status, because you're my most famous star today. And I'm so excited that I am going to give you a Luncheonette with Laura Diaz t-shirt. And guess what? There's a reminder right here on the back. 12:30 Fridays. Every Friday, you get to watch us live in action.
All right. Well,
thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I hope
There's
that's
your t-shirt.
a large t-shirt.
Wear it proudly. I believe
I'm sure
it is. Wasn't that exciting? I was so thrilled to have this interview with Secretary Wilkins and to listen to these initiatives. I love the passion that he showed for foster parents, and I hope that we'll have him again in the very near future. So, I hope you'll stay tuned for our very next Luncheonette episode where we will be interviewing Mrs. Tanya Wilkins and talk about passion. She has got passion for foster parenting and the statewide recruitment campaign, so I hope you'll enjoy that episode as well. Now, normally I know I leave you with some good jokes or something else, but I'm going to leave you with some more fun snippets from our conference in Daytona Beach. So take a look, enjoy, and we'll see you next week.
Party.
Yeah.
Pizza. Did you say pizza party?
Pizza party. Pizza party and
Danielle's got a rap for y'all. What's your rap?
No,
Do your rap. Come on.
No, you need to rap. No, you
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
You opened your mouth.
Yeah. Yo, Danielle. It's your go. Yo, Danielle. It's your go.
No, it's not my go.
William, come back here. Would you like that T-shirt? Would you like that T-shirt?
I got a t-shirt, I got a t-shirt. Come on, let's do it. I got a t-shirt, I got a t-shirt. Don't forget to watch us on Luncheonette. Luncheonette with Lori Diaz t-shirt. And look at the back. Hold on. Oh, sorry.
My t-shirt's better than your t-shirt.
You want to trade? Luncheonette with Lori Diaz, or hand in hand, together we
Right,
can.
we are partners. We partner together. Here we are.